I've just bought this Rolex Day-Date with the Grossular natural stone dial. It's a neo-vintage piece from 1997, and in this video I'll share what I love about it, the amazing experience of traveling to Amsterdam to buy it in person from Amsterdam Vintage Watches. And do stay tuned to the end, the other day dates I considered, but why I chose this one. First off, I've always loved natural stone dials. I posted a short video a few years back on stone dial day dates. Now this Grossular dial wasn't produced in large numbers, so you don't see many, and especially not in such great condition as this one. Now I get tastes are subjective, and the deep red burgundy colour isn't for everyone, but it really resonates with me. Grossular is a form of garnet, and that happens to be my birthstone, so it makes my connection even more personal. And I love the texture and flecks on that stone that catch the light. It's a similar effect to what you see on adventuring dials. The deep earthy richness of the dial gives the watch a soulful and grounding character that beautifully balances the opulence of the yellow gold and diamonds. And the diamonds really pop against that deep red backdrop. I do appreciate gem set watches, but most diamond bezels feel a bit too flashy for me. I much prefer brilliant cut diamonds within the dial where they can play with the light. Baguette cuts I actually think can be appreciated best on the bezel. I know that's an unusual take. Now this dial is stunning. It changes with the light from a deep reddish black at night to a brighter pinkish red in sunlight. The Day-Date has always been a statement watch, but with this dial, it carries that in a very classic, majestic and tasteful way, rather than being overbearing. The buying experience. Now the experience itself made this purchase even more special, and I love creating a memory around a watch. And if you've seen other videos on this channel, my somewhat eccentric tradition is that my wife and my dog have joined me for nearly every purchase. So the three of us took the Eurotunnel from the UK and drove down to Amsterdam for the weekend, and I bought it from Amsterdam Vintage Watches, which is owned by Jasper. And if you haven't already, I highly recommend checking out their website and YouTube channel, as well as their King of Vintage series, which is one of my personal favorites. They were kind enough to even swap out the original German day disc for this English one with their local ex-Rolex watchmaker, and I've kept the original for Providence. Meeting Jasper in person made it such a memorable experience. He really has passion and encyclopedic knowledge of vintage Rolex, Patek, AP and Cartier references, and as a trained gemologist he specializes in natural stone dials. He's a genuinely really nice guy and a very warm and sincere host, so it was a treat to see and try on all of those stunning lapis, jasper and stellar dial versions that they also sell. It was a fun trip for my wife and dog too, and they were given the full VIP treatment. What I really respect is how Amsterdam Vintage Watches focus on sourcing only the best and rarest examples of each reference and providing a true boutique experience to a smaller group of clients. It kind of reminded me of the ethos in one of my favorite heartfelt films, Jerry Maguire, when his mission statement in leaving the big corporate world is to instead focus on what really matters, working closely with fewer clients and creating meaning again. And that's exactly the feeling you get there. A small, passionate team, deeply connected in the vintage watch community and offering authentic, trustworthy pieces. This watch has the perfect balance of vintage character with exquisite, good as new condition, and they've done the hard work in sourcing the real treasures. So a huge thanks to Jasper and the team, and I'll definitely be in touch again. And we also made time to enjoy Amsterdam whilst we were there. It's one of my favorite European cities. It's beautiful to walk or cycle around the canals, though I had to be careful not to look like that guy taking photos of his new gold watch. But it's especially stunning at this time of year as the Christmas lights start to appear. Choosing the right day date. I've been looking at day dates for several years, and even though I'm usually pretty decisive, this was actually the hardest model for me personally to choose, and there are three main reasons why. First, I feel the day date is most iconic in yellow gold. Perhaps it's the Sopranos or the past US president associations, but I usually lean personally towards more understated metals. I tend to go for white gold like my GMT meteorite, but I'm comfortable with yellow gold paired on a leather strap like with my ellipse, or two-tone like with my Santos on a bracelet. So I've never really felt comfortable with a watch in full yellow gold, even though that's the kind of most iconic example for day dates. But this day date just feels right also on its president bracelet. It's such a beautiful design with that hidden clasp, and the more I've worn it, the more I've acclimatized and the more I've loved and just felt comfortable wearing it. What also helped me was discovering that neo-vintage and vintage references with their aged gold and brushed lugs feel a little bit more characterful and less shiny and bling. It's still full yellow gold, but it's more subtle and understated. And even though I would love the solid end links and the heft of the modern models from the early 2000s onwards, on balance, that was my one compromise I was comfortable with. And if you're after vintage or neo-vintage, any that are made from 1988 onwards typically have the benefit of that double quick set for ease of setting the date and the day separately, like on this one. Secondly, the size. I'm over 6'2", 6.5-inch wrist, so I can wear either 36mm or 40. My wrist used to actually be closer to 7 inches, but I've slimmed down. And my taste has also evolved to appreciating smaller and more centered proportions. And 36mm, it's the classic size day dates have always been produced in. The day date 40 option was only introduced relatively recently in 2015 to cater for that trend for sort of larger watches. But in full gold, 36 for me, as well as being more classic, it also keeps things a little bit more understated. And third, the dials. Among the modern day dates, my favorite natural stone dials unfortunately are all in the 40mm. The Eisenkiesel in rose gold I almost bought a year ago, and the black Onyx with baguette markers in yellow gold is stunning, but both are very bold with those shiny lugs. There's some beautiful stone dials in 36mm, including turquoise, malachite and opal, but only with diamond set Roman numerals. It's a bit too blingy for me personally. I could see how those could appeal as ladies' watches paired with jewelry. I was tempted by the bright green dial, but after a wait I realized there's very few sent to ADs, and all up I think the stone dial is more soulful and in vintage less shiny. But I've started to really appreciate more and more the character and value in neo-vintage and vintage references, and those old day dates with onyx, lapis and malachite dials are all incredible. I tried on this bloodstone dial at Theo collection in London, loved it, but way out of my price range, and it's still available if anyone's interested. However, trying it on did make me realize I really did want a natural stone dial with that extra point of interest in this Grossular with those brilliant cut diamonds. It hits that sweet spot, and the Grossular stone has that similar soulful, grounding earthiness to the Eisenkiesel dial that I've also liked, but with more color and more contrast, and it's my birthstone. and you see so few of these, it was kind of a now or never opportunity, and I'm so pleased I went for it. So closing thoughts, there's definitely a journey you go on with watches, as we all know, and this one has quickly gone from being a watch I admired for its beauty to one I feel a real personal connection and resonance with. It feels incredible on the wrist. The Day-Date has that majestic and stately presence that makes you feel good about yourself, and with a natural stone dial and vintage aesthetic, it does it on a deeply sincere and personal way. You can never be certain until you've worn a watch for several days at least, but this one I absolutely adore and have a connection with that I intend to keep for life. I hope you enjoyed this. Please leave a comment. I'd love to hear your thoughts, and if you can, please click like, subscribe, and do check out the other videos on this modest channel. It really means a lot. Thank you for watching.